Hey everybody, welcome to Seen and Heard on Top Left TV. I'm your host Kyle Court, joined as usual by the lovely Taryn Daly. At Tony V's Garage in Everett, Washington, we've got an exciting episode for you today. We'll be talking to Les Punch and Sun Mother live in studio, plus a personal look into a couple more bands in the area. You're going to want to see it all, so stick around. Starting off, we're talking with some of the crew from Top Left TV. We've got John, Gary, Joey. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing? Good.
I am well. Taryn?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Nice. We've been up to quite a few things in the scene. What are those things we have been up to?
A lot of filming.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole Top Left TV thing is about video, right? That's the culture of this organization. So just trying to get out to as many shows as possible, recording as much as possible, promoting bands, you know, with their live shows.
And finding new bands too that like we haven't seen before or heard before. It's really cool to go out and see these new bands for the first time and then be able to provide new people or new fans to these bands.
What's the response been to that?
It's been good. It's been good. A lot of people coming up asking about, you know, what are we doing? You know, who are we? You know, we usually got the shirts on, so yeah, they're just curious.
Yeah. I think a consistent surprise look in the band's faces that they're getting, you know, so many cameras on them, and that it can be used for marketing after the show.
Promotion.
Free promotion. And it's
Yeah.
free. It's totally free.
And we never charge the bands to do it.
That's the biggest thing is, you know, when we're done filming, you know, we usually got a card that says, you know, all our information, where you can find it, and a lot of them are always surprised when, you know, they ask, well, what's the deal? How much is this going to? It's like, no, it's just give us like a week. We'll get it up on the channel for you and use it as you want. And that's the biggest surprise.
That's awesome. What shows have we been to?
Probably one of the biggest ones lately was Radfest down at Louis G's, the late January. It was 8 bands.
Was it rad?
9
It
bands.
It was
rad as
sufficiently
hell.
rad.
I assume it would be rad.
Yeah.
Absolutely was. It was a great show.
Brooksy said it would be rad, so it proved itself out. Absolutely. That was an all-day event. I'm surprised we didn't run out of battery.
I think we did a couple times.
Plenty battery.
We did.
Kept switching out. But yeah, that was a bigger show. So we do like smaller shows too. You know, 2 or 3 bands, and those are really cool because, you know, it's in and out, and then you have all these new bands that you find, these smaller shows that are just really cool, and you get to see a lot of different types of music too. So
Been doing a lot of stuff at Daryl's Tavern. It's a smaller venue. Well, it's a small venue that they've really started picking up, doing a lot of really cool local shows. And
Where is that? I've actually never been there.
Shoreline. It's in
Nice.
Shoreline, Washington.
Another North End-ish band.
Right, exactly. It's another North End venue.
Nice. So Daryl's, we were at Louis G's.
Tony V's, obviously.
V's.
We're here
Yeah.
at least once a month, if not more.
we're here a lot. Studio 7 too.
Yeah.
Went to Studio 7, did a World Day Memorial, which was amazing. It was really cool.
Wasn't that the most watched?
That was the most
Top Left
watched
TV.
from everybody, and like everybody, it was just like a really good, like, united front for a good.
We were very honored to be a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, take the cameras away, and that part of it, it was still a really special event.
Really,
It was just really cool to see the community that has been there for years and years and years. Welcome in a lot of of the newer kids that still were able to connect with World stuff. Man, I could talk all day about that.
You know what's interesting too about that event is you can track where people are watching it from, and that had been viewed from around the world. And people that had maybe seen and known him when they were in Seattle might have moved away, but they follow it, right? They follow Studio 7, they followed all the music scene activity, and they knew that this event was going to go on, and so they dialed in. They watched it live through Facebook, live streaming. Or excuse me, that was actually through YouTube and then fed through Facebook later. But
And I think that's pretty spectacular too, because a lot of people, maybe they grew up in this community and they moved away for one reason or another. That's the really cool thing about Top Left TV is that sure, we're here for the Pacific Northwest for, you know, Washington-based bands, but if someone leaves this area, they can still feel so connected to their home, and I think the World Dane Memorial is a total tribute to that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the other thing too, is like we do this stuff for the bands, but we also do it for the fans too, because we're all busy and we can't all make it out to every show. And so it sucks when, you know, a really good band that you like was playing and you couldn't make it out to it. So this is an avenue for you to be able to see it after, and so you don't all, you know, miss the whole thing. So it's really cool to see all the people out there, you know, and all the fans out there, but the ones who can't make it, it's good that they still get to see their favorite bands play.
And you're kind of taking it to that next level that, you know, if you want to go and, you know, look up a YouTube video of, you know, Guns N' Roses performing in whatever year at whatever venue, you can do that for a really, you know, big band. Now we're able to do that for these local bands who we all love so much. They're like family to us. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to take those bands and their content to that next level and just elevating our scene all the time. It's huge.
There's like a ton of bands out there that we've covered. I've never like recorded these bands before, and they're amazing. Just to name a few, is like Artemis Moon, Cashing In Karma, Sun Mother, all these bands that I've never even heard before, and then being able to see them, being able to give other people that content is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's very mobile. You know, TopLeftTV can cover really small venues, Skylark, all the way up to really big venues like Tony V's, right? It's really interesting to see the size of crowds that are at these different events, but also how supportive the venues are themselves. You know, initially, I guess that was a worry of ours, right? How receptive would venues be to streaming a show that has ticket sales associated with it? That hasn't been a problem at all. They just want to share out to as many fans as possible, get as many people involved as possible. So that's where TopLeftTV can come in and make a difference.
So we've covered what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. What else do we have on the hopper, you guys?
I think the next biggest thing in the pipeline is a podcast. We're gonna do a TopLeftTV Seen and Heard podcast. Basically, just, you know, have more bands in for, you know, just more of a long form interviews, and want to do some on-site stuff with that.
Another cool thing too is the 360 band practices. We go to where you practice because people want to see like who's the band and how do they get to where they're at, you know. And going in to be able to see the practice is amazing. Like, it's never a dull moment. You know, we're talking about little storage units, like just a little box, to huge places that people practice in, and that's really cool too, to be able to see the practice behind it.
The bands are a lot more candid, aren't they?
Yes.
When they're practicing,
absolutely.
They can do and say things that they probably wouldn't on stage.
Right.
It's
hilarity ensues.
And that's where they're in their element. That's where you can see them where they're at home.
They're
not putting on a show. That you're seeing the behind the scenes, like what do they do when the cameras are off? But lucky for us, we get to throw a camera in there.
Yeah.
Being able to see who the band is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like, we see them on stage and they sound great and their music is awesome, but I want to see like what they do and how they do it and what the process is behind that. So being able to do that is really awesome. Also, we were in studio with Sun Mother. They were recording a song called Time, and so being able to see that process is really cool too. And so we'll have that available for people to see, hey, what does it look like when they're actually recording for an album?
So speaking of that, I think we're going to segue into one of those. Check it out.
We record stuff in here all the time, and we're gonna just release like basement stuff because we don't care. Because I don't know, like, we just want to put our music out there, and you know, if somebody likes it, that's cool, and if someone hates it, like, even better. So. came out of the same woman.
Yeah, so technically,
So did he.
technically, we can actually say it all started when we were born, really. So, but no,
It started in Bellingham in 1984.
yeah.
My parents met.
And then, bing, bang, boom, this guy.
And then, this guy.
It's more like whoops, whoops, this guy, I guess. And
Whoops, this guy.
and then you guys first met, so.
It was, their bass player went off to be a functioning member of society. Good grades, very social guy, very promising future. And then they got me, who was pretty much the exact opposite in every single way imaginable. Not good grades, going nowhere.
Yeah, it was really cool because when we were doing these open jams, Julio was there each week,
The only person that was there.
Yeah, consistently.
And John. Yeah.
And that might have been a weird connection to the bad grades, actually. No, but he was there every week, and he had literally just picked up the bass. And then, me and Russ were talking because we loved Julio as a person and as a friend. And we're like, wouldn't that just be awesome if he was in our band? I think for us too, it's always been just the personalities of us has been, I think, what has sustained us for so long is we always kind of go with emotion and personality first, rather than perfection.
Right.
Yeah. Perfection sucks. That's why I'm in a band with my brother.
Yeah.
We could all do so much better. I feel like we've been lucky enough to play some of the really amazing Seattle venues we've always wanted to play growing up, So I'm satisfied.
Yeah, you always. One day it'd be cool. Oh man, we're gonna play the Paramount. That just.
Oh, the
love
Paramount.
the Paramount. Paramount's incredible, but it's what John said. I'm happy with what we've been doing, what we have done. So
what's funny too is I notice how different it is when you go to a really great venue and you're in not a very good mind state. If you're in a bad mood, you could be playing the best venue, but you have the worst time.
Yeah.
And then you can go play the dumpiest venue, but if you're in a good mindset, it feels like the Paramount. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting to see the parallels there, I guess.
for me, it's all about the bathrooms. I like a good bathroom. I like a bathroom with privacy and a good door.
Social media, obviously we got the Facebook, we're on Instagram, we have a website. If you want to listen to the music, you can go to Spotify or iTunes, Amazon Music.
We have a Bandcamp.
And we give out CDs like it's the 90s.
Is it Asterhouse Music?
Yeah, Asterhouse Music. And if you wanted to email us for a show or if you have some threats, you can email us at asterhousemusic@gmail.com. I dare you. I'm John.
I'm Ross.
I'm Julio.
And we're
Asterhouse.
Asterhouse.
My voice is something a little lower because that one's super hard. Yeah, okay.
welcome back. We've got Jessica, Nick, and Noah from Lust Punch. Let's get to know you guys. How's it going?
Good.
It's going good.
Good, man. Where are you guys from? How'd you start your band?
From Des Moines.
you.
And yeah, started back in 2016. January was our first show at the Royal Bear in Auburn. And it was just a feature thing. We did like 3 songs. And from there, it's history. It was the original lineup was like Michael Bell and RJ Stone on the drums. RJ Stone on the drums, yeah.
I pretty much live in the middle of nowhere in Redmond. Pretty much, if you want to go out into the mountains, you'll find me somewhere. But you know, I got to work towards the city and play some drums. So these guys were looking for someone, and I love to hit the drums hard, so it fit perfectly.
That's my style, living out in the sticks.
I know, me too. I literally live in the middle of nowhere, so I love that. What do you do in the mountains? I'm just curious.
You climb them, you know, slide down them, you get hurt on them plenty of times, that's for sure. I used to mountain bike, and I probably hurt myself more mountain biking than drumming, and that says a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good times.
Lust Punch, where'd that name come from?
Where do you think it came from?
It sounds very sexual, is it?
It could be.
If I wanted it to be.
It was either Love Butter or Lust Punch, and you decided on Lust Punch.
We were thinking about Pearl Jam, but I think that one's taken, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's landed somewhere else.
But
it was a close second.
It was pretty close to that though, because me and Nick were sitting down one night, and I was like, you know what? Guys like stuff that's violent, and girls like stuff that's sexy. So we have to have both. I'm like, how can we do that
Sexy
and still
and
make it appropriate for even children to wear it? So we had to find something that fit both of those characters together.
Yeah,
still appropriate.
I love it. Still plays nice in the sandbox.
Yeah.
You know, I dig it. Can you talk about your logo? I want to know about that because I have a white ski helmet that I wear when I go skiing, and I have some band stickers on it, and Lust Punch is one of them. So I want to know, where did that logo come from?
Very cool.
I'm really happy you have it on your helmet.
On my brain bucket.
I also have it on my helmet, the white one with the circle with the black logo.
Yes.
Oh
my God, we are the same.
Yeah. So that was actually an accumulation of a few different band inspirations. It took about 10 hours to come up with, as simple as it looks. So, you know, I was a huge Avenged Sevenfold fan, Nirvana, a little bit of punk, like some Blink-182 in there. And so you can kind of see some of their logos like within that logo and how it came about. But yeah, that was kind of the story.
Eventually, Nick sat down and he was like, you know what, I am not finding anything online that even looks similar to what I want. So he literally hand drew it, and then we sent it out for duplication later. So it was all this guy here.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're an artiste.
It's very cool.
And now that being said, you mentioned, you know, there's some punk in your roots, and I think that there's so many genres that people, you know, can gravitate to or toward, and you guys kind of do it sounds like a mix of almost, there's some punk rock roots in there, there's some grunge roots. Are you guys okay with being like labeled a certain style?
We're just the bad stepchild, pretty much. Like, we play whatever we want.
That's punk rock right there.
Yeah, that's super
We kind of
fun.
like being able to mix with a little bit of everything, because there's just been so many influences throughout Nick's songwriting that he's had over the years. A lot of 90s stuff, I would say.
Sure.
So there's a lot of Soundgarden, there's a lot of Stone Temple Pilots in there. But having that kind of mix, you can play with more people too.
Well, for sure. When I first found out about you guys, I think it was maybe like a year-ish ago, and I remember realizing that you guys had started in 2016, and I thought, well, that's not possible. They don't sound like a band that started in 2016. You guys definitely channel, really definitely some 90s vibes, and I really dig that.
Thank you.
We really like listening to the 90s shows and the 90s stuff that you play.
Yeah.
On the weekly.
Well, KISW, the 90s built KISW, really. I mean, it's, you know, the radio station's been around since the 70s, but the 90s were really when the station kind of came into its own. And so, you know, hearing that kind of music, just, it tugs at all my heartstrings, because that's the station I work for, and that's the music that I'm kind of obsessed with. And you guys just kind of slide right in there, and I love it. It just fits my style so much. So, yeah, you have a fan in me for sure.
Thank you.
Rad.
So you guys started in 2016, been gigging around. What do you have in the works right now? What's on the docket for you guys?
Man, I mean, since we started, we've played over 60-ish shows, so a lot of show time on the stage. Right now, we got a new record in the works, doing a lot of recording, and working really hard at that, you know.
And working on setting up tour this summer too.
Nice.
Which will be good.
I was going to ask if you guys have any like major goals to, step on beyond the local scene.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. There's some really cool people that I'm trying to get some things in the work over east of the mountains and get over towards Spokane and through Idaho. There's some new venues that have been set up in that direction. And then potentially, hopefully, down towards San Diego and maybe up through Vegas again. But just depends on how things go for the summer.
Get some.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite venue so far? And it may be a different answer for each of you, but maybe which venue were you just like, hell yeah, that felt great when you played?
I'll start it off, I guess. I remember I used to be with Blue Helix, and we played at Louis G's a couple times. And playing there again, it was like getting right back in it, because I spent a year after Blue Helix not playing anything. I jumped right back in with these guys. It felt really good to have everyone from Blue Helix there down at Blue G's to kind of welcome me. Felt
right
pretty
on.
good.
Very cool.
What about you, Nick?
I really liked, we played a show at this place called Numos in Seattle, and I remember the sound guy's name was Rusty, and he was one of the best I'd ever heard. And we've certainly played some shows that had like a few hundred people at them. That show wasn't like a ton of people, but the sound and the energy we got from this show was absolutely fantastic, and that was pretty cool.
Very, very cool. For me, it's probably a little different because I just got to play my first show with these guys. I did most of their management and photography and booking before this, and recently stepped into playing bass. And so I got to play my first show at a sold-out house over at the High Dive with Dan Nunn and the guys in Washed in Black. Some of my favorite people in the scene. They're just
great
awesome
guys,
fucking
man.
people.
Great dudes.
And that was amazing. I hadn't gotten the chance to perform in probably 10 years. I was a vocalist and a violinist, and to get on stage and just feel that energy was phenomenal.
That's a pretty iconic place and an iconic couple of bands and music being played to step in for your first show. That had to have been really exciting.
It was super cool. It made it way better than I thought. I was nervous probably for the first couple songs, and then after that, just you feel kind of the energy and the family kind of hug and surround you, and it was no big deal after that. Everybody was excited, and it was cool to have a couple people come up and talk to me afterwards, which has never happened to me before, and that's all I want to do now.
Hell yeah.
Get used to it. I've been doing this for about 20 years, and I get stage fright before I go on stage every single time. And if that feeling ever goes away, it's time to hang it up.
Exactly.
So get used to it. But as soon as you get up there, you strum your first chord, get through that first song, you get the adrenaline flowing, then you're at home.
Yes.
It's funny you say that, Kyle, because the first time I heard you guys play, I was like, who the hell is this band? They're awesome. Superfecta. I was like, you guys had the 2 8x8 scrims on the stage, and it was at Studio 7. It was the first see you guys play, and I was like, these guys are dope.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Super cool.
So we talked about which venues you guys like to play. Do you guys have any favorite bands in the scene that you like to go watch?
Yes.
Oh man.
I mean, there's a lot of them, but I mean, pick and choose.
There's
some shout outs.
I guess I'll take it first again.
You go.
All right,
Yeah.
yes. 10 miles wide. Mostly because Will Andrews, he's given me a lot of his time to share with me some of the stuff he's learned. He's a great guy. They're just playing some genuine music, and I love their stuff. 10 Miles Wide is great, and I know he's been branching out to some new bands. Will Andrews, I really hope for the best for him.
Yeah, you can't really talk about Seattle music without mentioning 10 Miles Wide. They are the bar.
That was the last show we were at together, actually.
Yeah, those guys are really good at what they do, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're like musicians, like really
musicians, definitely.
Yeah, really good. I like them. Oh, I also like a couple bands locally. Mr. Master. One of the first bands we played was
we ever hung out
Mr.
with.
Master.
Yeah.
Really cool band to see live. Just kind of got that, with not the exact same sound, but real funky rock, like kind of Pearl Jammy vibe with the 4-piece, And then we really enjoyed another first band that we played with was Locomotive, because they were like, oh, okay, yeah, they're kids, but they got on stage and they're like, the songwriting was really good.
Oh yeah.
The tempo and the songwriting structure was like on point, and the way they delivered it live was something different. And you didn't really expect that from, like, younger kids, but they brought it, and they brought it hard, and it was awesome. And those two bands have kind of stuck out as bands locally that we really enjoyed playing with. We've yet to play with 10 Miles Wide, but that'd definitely be one of our next bands we'd love to play.
They're on our
with.
goal list.
Yeah.
For this summer. So
I love that.
Well,
you mentioned Locomotive. We've got a young female bass player, Bella. We've got a badass blonde female bass player here. Like, how does that feel to you to, like, kind of get to see the next generation doing the thing?
It's really, really cool. I mean, to watch them, I feel like we've gotten to actually kind of watch them grow up a bit over these last couple of years, just because they were so young, and it really gave me more confidence, because I didn't play bass before stepping into this role. Playing a violin is similar. It's opposite strings. It's same fingering and everything, but it's opposite. So Nick had to write me tabs, and I just had to memorize them. So, but seeing Bella do that gave me the confidence that I could get up there and do that in front of everybody. You know, like, they're going to be phenomenal in the next couple of years, and I can't wait to watch that kind of growth along the way,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And for you guys, just having a female in the band, that's not, super common. What kind of feedback or response do you get? Like, oh my God, there's a chick in the band. Like, how does that, what is the reception?
Everyone loves chicks.
Chicks are cool. Chicks are cool.
And there's nothing against that. I mean, chicks are awesome, so, I mean, it works out well for us.
Yeah.
I think it's been really receptive, which has been helpful along with the growth in it. I mean, Sun Mother, which are some of our other favorite people, to name someone different, they're coming up after us. They also have a female bass player. And I think you kind of show yourself to a different demographic along that way. A lot of girls want to come out, they want to come rock with everybody, but they may not always feel comfortable in that setting.
I like Sun Mother.
That gives you somebody to kind of connect with, and come out and bring your friends and see somebody else that's doing those things that you want to do on stage too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, and I work with all guys, so, like me at work, it's me and my dysfunctional brothers. and I love it. Like, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm a bit of a tomboy myself. I don't know if you have tomboy tendencies, but, like, we can burp and fart, and it's fine. Like, I love it. It's great.
I just want to burp and fart right now.
It's very, very cool. For sure.
Do it.
This has been awesome. We want to wrap it up, but we also want to know, where can people find your content, your music, videos, anything like that? This is your time to plug.
Sure.
You can find us on Facebook, Spotify,
yes,
iTunes.
Go down the list.
www.lustpunch.com.
.org,
and
YouTube.
.edu.
Right.
On the World Wide Web.
Instagram, Twitter, we're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Hell yeah, you guys. Please go check it out. Lust Punch. Look them up. Google it. Check them out. Thank you guys for stopping by. You guys are awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Since then, it's been about 2 years since we've all linked up. 2 rehearsal spaces and 2 years later.
Yeah.
And we just moved in here and have been just working hard trying to mold the 5 of us into one output, one sound,
I think Ocean Way was a big deal.
Yeah, that was cool. We got to play this. We got flown to Nashville for this cool contest that we got to take part in and finalized, and we were a finalist in it. And we got to record in this studio called Ocean Way, which is an old church that was converted into a really, really spectacular studio. And we paired up with, partnered with USAA and an organization called We Are the Mighty. Both Mac and Steve here are veterans, and so because of just another thing to be thankful for their service of, man. We got a cool opportunity out of it.
Yeah.
And
there's a whole bunch of cool pictures on the band's Facebook.
Yeah.
Check out the studios. It was pretty amazing.
Pretty cool. Not with this band, but I was fortunate enough to play both Soto main stage and the Market main stage, which is
for the showbox.
Yeah, and once that you have that at hard on, like there's nothing in your mind more than just getting back to it. Getting back to one of those. I haven't played Numos though, and that's a place that I've always wanted to play.
I want to play the Croc.
The Croc too, yeah. The Croc. We're open for an album release at the Croc. Is kind of a goal of ours right now. First thing you notice when you start playing music and you meet anybody that you've looked up to or listened to as a kid or as a teenager or whenever you needed it most, first time you meet him, you're like, oh, this is just a dude. Yep. This is just a dude. He's drinking whiskey like I'm drinking whiskey, you know, like he played here like I'm playing here. Like, I don't know, it makes you feel a little bit more connected with what's going on around you musically.
I'd say my favorite one most recently is Eastern Sky. I mean, all the songs are fun to play, but that one, that was a burner.
Some cojones, yeah.
I like Take Notice. It's probably one of my favorites right now. Only because it's just like it's such a killer, just kick-off song to get people in the fucking groove.
I think I'm with you with that one, Malcolm.
Yeah.
That one's good because I get to sit like deep in that pocket. I can actually like do stuff.
Well, dude, and it's one of the few bass-driven tunes we have, and so you really get to lock into that pocket. And I mean, it's 46 and 2, but it's fucking you know what is, you know what I mean?
It's me in the grave I dug.
Like, I just really want to be considered like one of, I mean, there's always certain bands on the tip of people's tongues here in the scene. And I like the feeling of being one of them. You know what I mean? And that's not like an egotistical thing. That's just more like, it's nice to feel like your peers look at you like you're their peers, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, in some scenes, very hard. And this one, I feel like it's more of an available option because of how supportive everybody is and everybody else for the most part, you know. And maybe we can get to a point where we can do that for somebody else. You know, there's a lot of killer up and coming bands, and I say up and coming, they're probably kicking more ass than us, you know. All we can really do is hit the ground hard and play as best we can and leave it on the stage, you know. Like I was saying, it's at 45 minutes on stage, half an hour, 45 minutes, sometimes less than that. But that is the feeling, that is the high that you want, that is the goal. And so whatever keeps it so we can keep doing that. Yeah. Right now, obviously, you go to Facebook, search Jericho Hill. We're there. We have a JerichoHill.com. JerichoHillBand.com. And we're on Spotify. We're on iTunes.
Like our main webpage we use is our Facebook, which is facebook.com/JerichoHillUSA. And then we're on Spotify, and we're on the YouTube, and we're on just about anywhere else.
The YouTube.
I'm Adam. I'm Nick.
I'm Steve.
I'm Mac. And I'm Malcolm. And we are Jericho Hill.
I gotta play that a lot fucking better. Let's do that one more time.
Welcome back to Seen and Heard. We've got Colby, Katrina, and David from Sun Mother. Guys, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming. Let's get to know you guys a little bit. Where are you from, and when and where did you start your band?
Originally from Renton, Issaquah, and Kemp. We live in Seattle now, and we started in 2017. It was our January, was just when we got started, and been doing big things, you know. It's been a lot of fun.
Are you serious?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You guys have only been together for about a year now?
Just a year, yep.
Wow, I had no idea.
Just getting started.
And you're already making big waves.
We're trying. We just like to play. And David's our second drummer, and he's been an awesome addition to our band that has taken us to the next level. So we found him. When did we find you, David?
June, right?
June.
For the Hard Rock?
June? Yeah.
No, because July was when we played Whiskey.
We played the Whiskey
Oh, okay,
down
so
in Hollywood.
August.
That was kind of like our big thing we did. We went on a vacation, a little tour.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been a band for 6 months. We're playing the Whiskey.
We had
It was
fun.
pretty cool. It was
fun.
pretty great.
And we went on a little tour with a band called Darky Dark and the Junkie Bunch. And
That's
they
cute.
were,
I like it.
They're really good.
Very,
They like punk.
very
They're really
punk.
good.
And so we went and played the Whiskey, and we had some problems with our old drummer, and luckily David came and took us to the next level. It was a blessing in disguise.
Right on. David, what kind of drum kit do you play on?
Well, it's his kit. It's a Yamaha.
Yeah. Right on.
It's his mother's drum kit.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
Yeah.
I speak drum, and we work closely. It was my mom's drum set. She taught me drums when I was a kid, and I loved it. And I was like, he had a drum set. I was like, you can play this one. It's a Sun Mother drum set.
Right on. Do you guys all come from a musical background? It sounds like your mom was a big influence for you two also?
Not really. I played in band, but my parents don't play music.
Her dad played guitar a little bit.
A little bit. He likes to think he plays guitar.
And what did you play in band?
I played flute, bass, clarinet, bary sax, tenor sax, and alto sax.
Alto.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sax man.
You know.
Me
Fellow
too.
woodwinds.
Right.
Ooh, your reeds.
Right. Nice and wet.
Ooh, talk dirty to me.
Right.
So, Sun Mother, where did that name come from?
The name was inspired by my grandmother. She passed away 4 years ago, and I look up in the sun, and I just kind of came up with this entity. You know, I'm somewhat of a pagan and believe in the planet and the energy of the sun, so it kind of tied together with my beliefs, and just represents what I feel. That, you know, the Sun Mother's an energy, the sun, and just inspires me to make music. So.
Damn, dude, that's really cool. Like, to be honest, I wasn't expecting anything like that. Like, my grandfather passed away in 2012. And when I found out, my first inclination was I just want to go outside, and I was looking up at the sun. So every time I look at the sun now, I think of my grandpops.
Right? Cool.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just want to have that connection with other people, and it doesn't have to be about my grandma for you, but everybody feels something from the sun. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very mother-like. So I think it's a good representation.
That is cool.
I just want to know, I know you have a deep connection to the sun. Is there a connection to the moon by any chance as well?
I love the moon. My moon sign is in Cancer. It's just, I don't know. We love Artemis Moon, the band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we love the moon just as much as we love the sun, definitely.
Who came up with this?
Our roadie, he's not here right now. We have our t-shirts. His name is Burn, and he came up with the logo. The logo inside means mother, and then the sun. So closely related to the Trinity symbol. Yeah.
Has anyone tattooed that on them yet?
Yes. My little brother just got it on Friday.
Oh,
on
your
his
brother's
chest.
the coolest.
Yes, I have a
Oh, I
picture.
saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, it's very cool. So that's the first of many. I want one too. So.
That is very
Yeah.
cool, man.
Do you guys have, what tattoos do you already have?
I got a bunch. Musical. I'm the king of hearts.
Ooh.
Right.
They got a couple too. Mainly musical tattoos.
I got a poppy on my arm.
She like poppy
And a
tattoos.
stupid little line. I got a little wavy line on my knee.
Of course.
She needs to get it fixed.
I'm working on it. It's a work in progress.
Yes.
That had to be a really painful spot to get tattooed.
It was stick and
man.
poke too.
Oh, God.
Bless
you.
I did just get a tattoo on Friday, actually. I could show it. If you
Yeah.
see that. I think it's my microphone. Hold on.
We'll get you fixed.
Check it out. It's a pipe dream.
Oh, it certainly is.
It's what you want in life.
I love that. I want to share a bowl with you, man. Now you're putting the Lubriderm on there, taking care of it the right ways. Yes. Oh yeah, of course.
For sure.
Fresh lube every night.
Lubing it up.
Cool.
So you guys have been gigging. You've been getting tattoos. What else have you been up to? I mean, are you working on recordings? You're working on tours? Tell us what you're up to.
That is the plan right now. Is we've been working on content, getting some recordings done. We have 6 songs we've been recording. One of them at the Art Institute of Seattle. Lust Punch actually suggested that we go. We're one of the bands that one of the engineers for their final could record. And we're grateful for that. And have been having an awesome time. The drums sound really great. And then the other 5 songs we've been recording at the Old Rainier Brewery.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have a studio, and it's going really well.
Awesome.
We just got to do some final touches, some vocals, but I'm excited for them to be heard, for us to just get some sounds out.
Get it out there.
What do you guys, how have you liked the recording process?
It's harder when it's in your own studio because there's no press for time. So we were thinking we were going to be done by January or February, and now it's February.
Having a full-time job makes it hard.
That too. Full-time jobs.
Rest assured, in my experience, that is the best way to do it, though.
Right.
Because
Want it the most.
so I'm in Superfecta, and we did our first couple of albums in a professional studio.
Right.
And what's tough about that is you got to let's book the time, and then you're paying somebody money to do it on their time, and then we can only do it, Friday night from midnight to 8 a.m. or whatever. So it's just like, okay, we got to get this done by, if we're not out of here by 8 a.m., then we're paying more money.
It's a lot of pressure.
Screw that. We took for our third album, we said, let's buy the computer, the interface, the compressors, all the microphones and all that kind of stuff. We'll record our own stuff. You don't feel like recording today? Go home. See you tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that's when you can actually put on tape what you intend it to be, instead of like, okay, well, it's good enough. Let's get it to mixing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So rest assured, like that is, it's not for everybody, but that sounds like that's going to be a good process for you guys.
Definitely.
Who does the bulk of your writing?
I do mainly the writing. I've been writing since I was 13. I'm 28 now, so I got some songs from the past, some new ones. These guys have been a part of the writing process for some new songs. And I have some ideas, but I like them to take it and make it their own. We're a band. I just have some ideas, and as we play more, they're coming up with more ideas. And
yeah, it gets
really
better and
shine.
better every time we play. It's just like it becomes more just natural.
Their own voices are coming out more and more.
Yeah.
It's
Which one of you is the biggest perfectionist, would you say?
That's probably me. That's probably me. But
Just
no,
own
I
it,
mean,
own
David,
it.
you're
Well,
in the
I mean-
studio. He wants that right take, and I applaud his wanting to sound good and perfect in the studio. So it's not just me, the guy. He wants to sound great himself, and I like that.
Yeah, well, and when you're in the studio, you have the opportunity to let's go back to
do that
that.
again.
Let's take that again. But on the stage, it's adrenaline, man.
It
Adrenaline
is.
takes over, and you don't have that in the studio. You can't buy adrenaline and bring it to the studio with you. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's a different level when you're on stage.
It's so crazy being in a band, having the studio and the stage are such different experiences. Yeah, being on stage is where I think we love to be the most, the energy.
Yeah.
But capturing that within the studio, it's possible, and we're learning. We're excited, so it's a process, right?
Which bands in the Seattle scene right now are you like gunning to play with? Like, who would you really love to be able to share a stage with?
We really want to play with 10 Miles Wide. That would be
That's our favorite.
the dream.
I'm a fan of that.
Yes.
That bill. I'll go to that
That's our
show for
favorite.
sure.
Yeah. We love 10 Miles Wide and their old band, The Mothership. Artemis Moon, Lust Punch, Mr. Master. These are bands we love to hang out with. Glass Souls. There's so many bands here.
Yeah.
I don't think you could ever meet all of them. So, but we're trying. So.
So that's a short-term goal. You guys got any long-term goals that you're thinking about? I mean, beyond the just waking up and dreaming that you're on, TV in 1995. I mean,
a dream seems far-fetched now. Yeah. I do have goals of 3 albums kind of planned right now, so we're just chipping away at the first one, and kind of a story that we are going to call the first EP Tease. It's one of the songs on there, and then when we make it a full length, we're going to call it the Carbon Tax. Because we're about that, and so yeah, just get more content out there. We would love to do some touring eventually. Hopefully, take Seattle, some other bands from here, and go and show off the sounds of Seattle. We believe in what has happened here. The grunge scene in the '80s with Queensryche, Jimi Hendrix. Yeah. We feel it's coming back, so we just want to be a part of that.
I can't agree with you more. I mean, I even mentioned it. We were here at a show recently where I mentioned that I think that what's happening in the Seattle scene right now would rival the '90s.
It would stand up to it,
I mean,
right?
it really, in the level of support from folks like TopLeftTV and just even the local bands supporting each other. It really is a family, and I'm just pumped to be a part of it in some aspects. So thank you guys for doing what you do and getting me fired up.
That's why TopLeftTV is here. I mean, we all know it. We see it. We go to shows and we see the talent and the passion. The world needs to see that too.
Yes, we respect what Top Left's doing. Like, it's this community of just musicians. It's not just bands. It's the filming, the pictures. That's probably my second favorite part about playing is seeing a photo after and experiencing it, and that's what this community is about. Artists, drawing, and we all need each other, So it's really cool to be a part of it.
Who are your guys' biggest influences in the music world? Not just Seattle, but in life. Who have you guys been most influenced by individually?
Oh, we're starting with me?
Yeah.
You're all looking at me like...
you go.
Coheed and Cambria, that's my hugest influence right there.
Yes.
I got a tattoo right here, the Keywork, and then I'm obsessed with them.
Nice.
And, I think my drumming is a little bit very-esque like theirs. Yeah. Yeah.
He actually, the drummer of Coheed, plays left-handed style. He's right-handed, but he plays like the drummer Coheed, left-handed. So
crazy.
He's, badass.
So are you ambidextrous in other things?
Like that.
I think I bat left-handed, but that's about it. I play guitar right-handed, and so.
Kind of, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm a drummer. I don't know how you do that.
I don't know either. I didn't know it was a thing until my brother-in-law who got me into drums, he's like, "You're playing drums open-handed." I'm like, "What does that mean?"
I don't even understand that.
He's like, "Yeah, usually people play like this, and you're playing like this." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I don't know.
Own it. Just own it.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like a lot of Avenged Sevenfold and the Bee Gees. And I think if that doesn't explain who I am as a person, then I don't know what does.
For sure.
Led Zeppelin didn't make songs that everybody liked. They left that up to the Bee Gees.
That's true.
It seems like after every show when the bands are done, they play the Bee Gees.
Which is
like,
my
all right,
second
we're clearing
favorite
it out.
Yep.
Play some Bee
Get
Gees.
some Bee Gees in there.
I'm a huge fan of just the Seattle sound. It's my main influence. Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, to Audio Slave outside of that. And but I'm from Renton, Jimi Hendrix.
Renton.
Renton. There. Yeah, and then there's so many bands. I don't even know where to start. But I think Seattle is kind of the main influence for Sun Mother. I saw the power of it in the '90s, and I just wanted to. There's got to be a way to reminisce or recreate that. It doesn't have to be the same, but
The name in and of itself sounds like Seattle. Right. Sun Mother sounds like Seattle.
We need some Sun Mother.
I know, God, please.
Yeah, the '90s thing that it was what it was, and we don't need to recreate that. What we need to do is just shine a light on what's happening right now, because it's fresh and it's authentic and it's real.
Yeah, definitely.
Where can we find your music? Online?
Right now we're on Bandcamp, sunmother.bandcamp.com. We have our first song. It's called "Pick Yourself Up," and it's a big message that we love. It's not how hard you fall; it's how you pick yourself up. And before this band, that's what inspired our band. Is we were going through some hard times, and we needed to pick ourselves up. And that's music made me feel better, made us feel better. We are a couple, so we're bandmates and lovers, and. We just, it helps our relationship. Sometimes,
he's like,
sometimes we question if it does, but it's just being able to have a place to just put your feelings and your angst and your emotions and just rock out. It seems every time we play, we feel pretty awesome after.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's about.
You guys are some cool people, man. I have to say. Before we sign off here, one last question. If you guys weren't playing in a band or playing music, what would you be doing for fun?
I would have to
like music isn't an option. What would you be doing?
This. You'll answer first.
Man, I don't know.
You're like, I don't want to live in a world where that's not an option.
See, I kind of expected this because there is no other option.
There is no other option, man.
Music is the only option.
I'd be a professional bowler.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you a great bowler?
Look like the wrist thing.
Oh my God.
Very good bowler.
What's your highest bowling score?
278.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I thought I was pretty good. It was like a 170.
Seventh best semi-professional.
In like 2012.
Oh my God.
A while ago.
You're the coolest chick I've ever met. This is crazy.
I support the bowling. If this doesn't work out,
We're gonna go move to Vegas.
We're gonna go bowl.
Oh my God.
That's where bowling is.
Oh yeah.
It's in Vegas.
Dude, that is awesome. It's been real fun here at Tony V's in Everett, Washington. Thank you to Sun Mother. Thank you for Lust Punch joining us today. Check out both of these bands. They're awesome. They got awesome things coming up on the horizon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Remember, guys, you are a part of this scene too. So get out, go to a show. For Taryn Daly, I'm Kyle Court. We'll see you next time on Seen and Heard.